Good morning, Stampers. Happy Friday. Welcome to our final celebration focused Facebook Live. Celebration is nearing the end. The last day to pick up free product is February 28th. And every Friday for the last, I think it's been 8 weeks, I have been choosing a different celebration product to work with. And this week is the Special Moments stamp set, which is a level 2 celebration offering, which means that you can choose it for free with a $120 order here in Canada. And I'm combining it with 2 other items because it is just a greeting set, so it does need something else to go along with it. But we will chat about that in a moment. Before we get started, let me just introduce myself. My name is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Alberta, Canada, and every Friday at 11 a.m. live. Let's hope that we don't have internet connection issues today. Okay, so before we get started into our crafty project, I want to share a few things. First of all, the previous videos, if you missed any of them, you can find them on my YouTube channel. There's a link in the description on where you can find me on YouTube, or you can also find me here on Facebook and just scroll through. You'll be able to find them. Last week, I focused on the adorable little awesome otters stamp set, and you always have the opportunity to win what I create, as long as it's a mailable project and not like a scrapbook layout or a 3D project. And how you get your name entered is by commenting on whether it's the live, so participating in the conversation, asking questions, commenting, letting me know you're watching, or sharing the video. And make sure, if you do share, make sure that you comment and let me know that you shared, because depending on your privacy settings, I can't always see that you shared, okay? So you get entries for that. And then also, if you catch the replay on YouTube, or even after it goes after the live, you always have about a week, so until the next Friday, to get your name entered. So still continue to comment. I appreciate everybody watching and participating in the conversation and commenting, asking questions. I try to go back and answer any questions that you have at some point. It doesn't always happen right away, but I do try to answer any questions that you do have. All right, so last week's winners were Sandy Schultz and Kim Lewis. Sandy, I think she commented on YouTube, and Kim commented here on Facebook. I believe I have both of their addresses, so I will pop those in the mail this weekend for them. So thank you, everybody, for commenting and sharing. Now, before we go any further, I still have a couple more things to just kind of remind you about. Now, the gift from now until the end of the month, with your $60 order, you have a choice between 2 gifts. You can either choose half a package of the iridescent rhinestone jewels, or the Grassy Grove card kits, and a quarter package of the New Horizons DSP. There's the supplies to create 2 cards using the Grassy Grove bundle in here, and you can see those cards if you check the Grassy Grove card video, which I did as a Facebook Live on Wednesday. You'll also find it on my YouTube channel. So those are the 2 cards. Okay, so with a $60 purchase until the end of February, you can choose one of those 2 items. And then also, if you place an order with me until February 28th, because it's my birthday month, you will automatically get entered to win one of 2 grand prizes. And these are the grand prizes. One of them is a Stamparatus. Fun. This is a fabulous stamp positioning tool, and it is a sweet gift. I mean, this Stamparatus is, I think it's like $60-some. So that is a great gift. One lucky winner who has shopped with me in February, and it's for every order that you place in February. Okay, so even if you've placed an order already, you can place another one, and that will get you a second entry. And then the second grand prize is all of the gifts that I have been giving away. So February is my birthday month, and so every week I've been offering a choice of 2 items. One of them is product based, and one of them is card kits. So I've been keeping an extra one of each of those products or gifts, and stuffing in this cello bag, and one lucky winner is going to win all of the gifts for February. All right. Okay, so let me set this stuff aside. Let me just put this on the floor here. And then we will get into what you're really here to see. Get into some crafting projects. All right, so like I said, we are going to focus on the special moment stamp set. Well, and you know what? I'm not really going to say we're going to focus on it. It is the greeting set that I'm using today, but I've combined it with some other products because it is just a greeting set. I love having greeting sets like this that have a ton of different greetings for different occasions, different sayings, and different fonts, just because it offers so much more versatility. So I love having these on hand, but it's really hard to create a card with just a greeting set. So I've combined it with a couple other items. I combined it with the Sunshine and Rainbow 6x6 DSP, and this is another celebration offering. This is a level 1 offering. You get a full package of 6x6 DSP. This is fabulous DSP. It coordinates with the rainbow bundle that's in the January to June mini catalog. And you can get this for free with a $60 purchase. And I love it. And because it's going to be retiring on February 28th, I just really wanted to get some more use out of it. So I chose that as my DSP. And then I was looking through some of the products that I had ordered but had not yet used. Because let's face it, we all have things like that in our collections that, we kind of have, and it sits there for a little while before we get around to using it. So I challenged myself to use the sports events dies. Now, I bet most of you have not even looked twice at these dies. You can find them on page 69 of the January to June mini catalog, and they are part of the Sports Fan, is that what it's called? Or Hey Sports Fan suite, okay? Which my family is they're huge sport fans, but we are not huge baseball fans. So I initially kind of overlooked this, but it is, at second glance, these dies are absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. You'll see how I create a few clusters with them, just to show you just how versatile they are. And when I looked more closely at the stamp set, really the only baseball themed stamp is this Grand Slam. Hope your day is a Grand Slam. But the rest are not baseball themed. There's some great greetings. So you're amazing, most valuable dad, happy birthday, hooray, happy Father's Day. So it's a great masculine set. And then the DSP, I was also thinking it is quite baseball themed but only on one side. And then the other side is kind of this one is a navy wood grain. To be honest, I don't have it yet. It's on my list because I was looking more closely at it after I pulled out these dies. And I started looking more closely, and the back side are some great kind of generic masculine patterns. So after looking more closely at this, I have decided that this is going to be a great kind of collection to work with for one of my future months of treasure chest projects, which is my membership group. So I just wanted to point that out because oftentimes we will look at a collection and think, oh, well, I'm not into sports. This is not for me. But if you pick apart the collections, oftentimes there's things in there that are really, really valuable that you could really put to good use. So, and these dies are definitely that. Okay. So forget about the name of them. I am not a sports fan. Anyone in my family or anyone who knows me can attest to that. I am not a sports fan. My family would love sports. They sit there and they'll watch hockey and football and everything, curling and race car driving and all of this stuff. And yeah, no, you'll find me down here crafting or sitting in the corner reading a book. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Let's see. Okay. So I've got all my pieces here. Now you can always look at today's blog post, which will come out just a little bit after this video goes live, to find the measurements for everything. But I will go through them really quickly here. I have got a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of crumb cake cardstock. This is not scored yet. We are going to score this because we're going to do a little bit of a fun fold. This is a 4 by 5 inch piece of white cardstock. I've got another scrap of white cardstock. I've got a scrap of Bermuda Bay. This piece, I love this pattern. I love, love, love this pattern. You cannot go wrong with a multicolored stripe. Whether they're wide stripes or narrow stripes, multicolored stripes are the best. So this piece measures 7/8 of an inch by 5 3/8. And I had a leftover piece, so I'm going to use this for the envelope flap. And then I've got a few other patterns here. Oh, I've got a piece of Melon Mambo cardstock. This is about 1.5 by 1.5. Yeah. And then I've got this Mango Melody, kind of the little sun pattern. This piece measures 1.5 by 2. And then I've got a little piece of this not Bermuda Bay, Pool Party with the little lines on it. This piece measures about 1 by 2. Okay. So we're going to do some die cutting with that, but before we do that, we are going to score this piece. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and I am going to score it at 1 inch. So I've got the long edge, so the 8.5 inch side up at the top. I'm going to score it at 1 inch. Oops, that's 1.5. Let's score it at the right measurement. 1 inch, and then 4¼ inches. Okay, we can get this out of the way. And we're going to bring in our dies, and we're going to do our die cutting. And I'm going to bring in my little mini machine. Sometimes I forget about this little thing, and all of these dies work perfectly with this little mini machine. So I am going to set this on here, and we are going to take, let me make sure I'm in camera. Okay. We're going to die cut lots of pieces. So again, for those of you who are just joining us, we're using the sports event dies. That's what it's called. Okay. But we are not doing a sporty card. We are doing a cute little card. Okay. So we're going to use this smaller kind of banner. And then we're going to use, from this piece, we're going to die cut this guy. And we're going to do it up and down. And I'm going to start with that. And we're still going to do a few more die cut pieces here. Okay. So we've got that, and look, that adds the stitching around the edges, which you guys know I love. And we're really crooked again. Okay, so those are the first two pieces. And then we're going to use this little ticket piece, put that on there on our strip of Bermuda Bay. And we're going to use this number 1 on this Mango Melody piece, and let's do that, and then we'll do the last piece. So this die set is fabulous for creating little clusters and layering these shapes. So you're going to see me do it a couple different ways today because I'm creating 2 different cards. So we've got that. So this one, you can use both the negative space in that and then also the little pieces that you cut out, so which is what we're going to use. And then look at this, we've got, like, it's even perforated in between. Okay, I'm going to flip this over. Whenever my mat starts to bow or whatever you want to say, I tend to just kind of flip it over to kind of keep it flat for as long as I can. So now we're using this one, the same one that we used for the Mango Melody piece. We're going to cut it from a piece of white. And this is the last piece that we need to cut for this project. Now, I should give you guys a heads up. This little mini machine is actually going to be on sale next month. I believe it's next, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's next month. It's going to be on sale for, I believe it is 20% off. I should have double checked that before I say anything, but I'm pretty sure that that's what it was. All right, so we've got all the pieces that we need now. Now we're going to fold along our score lines. So I am going to fold the center one first. And then this one I'm going to fold back. Just like that. I'm going to use my bone folder, make it nice and crisp. And then I'm going to bring in my stapler. Now this is a Stampin' Up! Stapler that we carried a few years ago. We don't carry it anymore. You can use any stapler, is just fine. And we're going to create like a little pocket. So you can use adhesive down the sides here, but I'm perfectly fine just using a little staple right here. It's going to hold it. Nothing's going to fall out. And I'm doing it quite close to the edge. So I'm going to do one on either side. And we're going to keep that out because we're going to use that again. And then I'm going to take my strip of patterned paper. I'm going to add some adhesive to it and add it across to cover these staples. So, and we'll just have just a narrow border around the edges. Just like that. And I'm just going to take a sip of my coffee here. All right. So I got an espresso machine for my birthday, or not for my birthday, for Christmas. And so we've been buying espresso, and then I realized that Starbucks sells espresso. So we were out, so I bought some Starbucks espresso, and not realizing that it's the beans. So we had no coffee in the house this morning. So my son kindly went and got us coffee this morning, so that was nice. I love having adult age kids, or kids that can drive. Okay, so what I did was I took two of these little strips here, and I just separated them. I'm going to kind of put them at an angle like this, and then put them up in the corner like this, and just staple them in place. And then this is going to go on the inside. So we've created a little pocket. Okay, so that's going to go on the inside of my card. Okay, so now we need to create our little cluster. So we're going to start with this guy, and I'm going to use some of this. Oh, that's fun pattern too, but there's no blue in this, so we'll leave it. And I'm just going to layer that on there like that. I'm going to take my white, and this is going to go on here like this. And then I'm going to take two more of these little guys and separate them. And we're going to use those in a minute. Okay, now I'm going to bring in these two pieces, and I'm going to use my tweezers because it'll be much easier to hang on to. They're so tiny. And you can use your adhesive sheets for this as well. Just put a little bit of adhesive on this, and this is going to go on here like this. And then our number sign. Is going to go on here as well. Okay, now we're going to use some dimensionals to pop this on to our card. I'm just going to use a couple little pieces from around the edges. And we'll pop one on there, one here. And this guy's going to go on here. And I do want my number one to be straight. So we're going to pop that on there, and then we'll use a little bit of multi-purpose glue for these two little guys. So how many of you have these? For some reason, I struggle with the name of these dies. Sports event dies. How many of you have these? I think I saw that Kathy, I think it was Kathy. Yeah, Kathy said that she just got those dies. Have you used them yet, Kathy? So we're just going to tuck that underneath there. And then we're going to do the same thing with this guy. Kind kind of at an angle, just like we did up here. Okay, so we've got that, and then we're going to take some white twine, and I'm going to tie a bow. Of course, there's twine. There's twine on both projects. Of course there is. You can't not use twine. There is twine that's part of this collection, but because I'm not using the DSP that's in this collection, the colors were all wrong. So that's why I chose to go with just white. Okay, and now we need our greeting. So I am going to use the greeting from this Special Moments stamp set that says, "I think you're wonderful." So this Special Moments stamp set is a great one that you can combine with pretty much anything in your collection. I have been using it with a variety of things all throughout Celebration. If you look back on my blog, you'll be able to see it on a number of different projects using different products because it's just a greeting set. So it works wonderfully with so many different collections. But I do have a couple projects that I'm going to share with you at the end that you guys haven't seen yet. Okay. And there we go. There's our card. And then we'll just quickly do our envelope flap so that we've got a nice little coordinating envelope. I like to use multi-purpose glue when I do my envelope flaps because it gives me the flexibility to kind of move that DSP around if I need to. And I'll just line this up here. And pop that on. Okay, and then we'll trim around the edges. I don't think I've used this polka dot paper at all, or if I have, maybe just once. I think it's probably because the back is striped. I love striped paper, diagonal striped, straight stripes, especially if it's multicolored. Okay, there we go. There is card number 1 using the sports event dies. Super fun. So we've got this little pocket. We've got a nice little collection, kind of like a cluster there as our embellishment. Okay, now let's move on to another card here. Now for this one, I have pre-cut most of the pieces. Actually, I think I pre-cut all of the pieces. So let me share with you what I've cut. So this is going to be for my envelope flap, so I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to use a thick white card base as my card base. From this large die, I used the Bermuda Bay diagonal stripe pattern paper, and this is all this DSP is from the Sunshine and Rainbows DSP. From this next largest shape, I used the soft seafoam polka dot pattern, and I love that it gives like that. Well, first of all, this creates a great little border. I mean, right here, you could do that like on a mat. Like, let's see here. Oops, wrong piece. So right there, that creates a great little border, but it's also got the stitching. And then here we've got the perforated stitching, so we could break that off if we wanted to. And then I used from the Sunshine paper, I used this bigger banner. And then I took a piece of Mango Melody cardstock. Hey Shauna, how are you today? We are using the Special Moments stamp set and the Sunshine and Rainbows DSP and the sports event dies. And you missed it, but this was the first card that I created. So not sports themed at all. Okay, and then from Mango Melody cardstock, I used this little die right here. And then I used this one again, and I die cut it from a piece of white. And I'm not worried that it's crooked here because I'm going to trim that off. All right, so now that I've showed you all the pieces that we've got, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to fold my card in half, and then we're going to start to layer our pieces. So I'm going to start with this guy. And it's going to go kind of in the lower left. Try to make sure it's straight. And then I'm going to use this guy. This is a really quick card. And this is going to layer on top. So we're creating another cluster. And then this guy's going to go on using dimensionals. I know, I love the ticket as well. It's so fun. Okay, and we're going to do it a little bit at an angle. Kind of like that. And then this guy, I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to curl up these little tassel things. That's what they remind me of. I don't know if that's actually what they're meant to be or not, but I'm going to put a little bit of multi-purpose glue just on this part and then line it up with the edge of this die. Just like that. And then we're going to bring in this piece, and this time we're going to use the greeting that says, "The thing I like about you is everything." And we're going to bring in some Memento ink. And we'll turn this around this way. And we're going to stamp that right in the center. And then we'll trim off along this score line or this perforated line. We're just going to trim that. And then this is going to get stuck down. I'm just going to stick it down flat, and it's going to get stuck down right here. Okay, and then here comes our twine. I'm going to use a double layer of white twine. So I just folded it in half. It's probably, I don't know, maybe 1/16 of an inch, 16 inches, maybe a little longer. And I'm going to tie a bow. And that's going to give me a bow, like it's just a little bit more substantial. And then I'll just trim. And then this I'll put on with a mini glue dot. And we're going to put it on right here. And then the last thing to do is to add some of these resin stars. So like I said, this is another, actually this and the twine that is part of the collection. These are great things along with these dies. If you are not a sports fan, these are still useful to have in your collection. So I'm going to use the yellow and just add a few stars on here. And look how cute that card is. So cute. And it's just, like I said, these dies, the name is deceiving. Sports event dies. This is not sporting related at all, right? So I think oftentimes, like I said at the beginning, is you just overlook some of these things because you aren't a sports fan or you aren't into certain things, right? Or maybe the stamp set doesn't appeal to you. Well, you don't necessarily need the stamp set for this particular bundle. There are a couple stamps that do give you some outline images. I believe this is one of them. I think these two give you a little bit of an outline detail, but you could always go back and just use a black marker or a colored marker and add those details in if you wanted to, right? But like I said, the stamp set is not really sports related apart from that one that one greeting that's in there that kind of makes a reference to baseball. All right, so we're just doing our envelope flap here, and then we'll be done with our 2 cards. But like I said, I have a couple others to share with you using this special moment stamp set. There we go. So there's card number 2. Let me bring back card number 1. So fun cards, and just think you could recreate these with different pattern papers and it would give them completely different looks. It's so fun. I just love creating little clusters with things like this. Okay, so let me set these aside here and I'll share. Okay, so this was another one that I used. I used a combination of a bunch of things actually. So the greeting is from the Special Moments stamp set. This is from, this and this black and white paper are from the All Together DSP that is available right now. And then I colored in the hands and just punched it out using the 2.5-inch circle punch. So I colored them in using the new blends and added some of that rainbow DSP at the top. This is embossed using the Tasteful Textile embossing folder. So there's that. And then this one. So I still had this, when I created this, I still had this DSP out on my table from Wednesday's Facebook Live. So I used my hexagon dies, and I kind of did the same idea as I did for a scrapbook layout that I shared using these dies and this DSP a couple weeks ago. So I just took the DSP and I cut out several different hexagons from the patterned paper and then pieced it back together like a puzzle. The thing is, the paper is only 6 by 6, so it only went up this high. But then I had a scrap of another pattern that had the blue, it looked like the clouds, and it kind of mimicked this. So I just die cut some of those to finish it off. And you can see that some of these spots are empty. And I just took a Misty Moonlight marker and used one of the hexagons as like just traced around the edges just to fill in those gaps. So you don't need to fill in every space with patterned paper. And this is a slimline card. And then I used some of the scrap pieces to just kind of add a little bit of a border at the top. All right. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the Celebration series Facebook Lives over the last 8 weeks or so. I can't believe Celebration is coming to an end. 2 months seems so short. But we're right around the corner to a brand new catalog, so lots of great things to come, I'm sure. Just a reminder that this week's gift, you have until the end of February to choose your gift for this week with a $60 purchase. Remember to use the monthly host code and also to get entered into the grand prize draw as well. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next Friday, and who knows what I'm going to do next Friday. We'll see. All right, take care. Have a great weekend, guys.